After just a few training sessions, Caitlin Clark, who recently joined the Indiana Fever. We all knew Clark was unique when she did something that left her instructor, Stephanie White, dumbfounded. We were aware that she was a once-in-a-generation talent, but White's recent revelation was unexpected. Clark differs from nearly every other player White has ever coached in one small aspect of her preparation, including some of the greatest WNBA luminaries. What did Clark do that led White to compare her to the finest of all time? And why is this a game-changer for the WNBA? Caitlin Clark isn't just here to play, so stay still. Before we get into the good stuff, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like this video. She's come to take control. Joining our team will keep you up to date on the most recent WNBA news, professional opinions, and analyses of significant actions just like this. Don't miss it. We cover every angle. Click the like button, subscribe, and let's get started. Let's now discuss why this is so significant. Caitlin Clark has hardly played for the Indiana Fever, and she's already drawing attention in an unexpected way. Stephanie White, the head coach of Fever, has witnessed some of the greatest. Was astounded after just a few training sessions with Clark, one of the greatest talents in WNBA history.
So Stephanie White is obviously now the coach of the Indiana Fever, and that is a good thing.
Prior to this, we were aware that Clark was a generational talent and the face of women's basketball, before participating in a single WNBA game. However, White just disclosed something that completely alters how Clark will affect this league. White was totally unprepared for one minor aspect of her training, something that sets Clark apart from nearly every youngster she has ever worked with. And when a coach who has worked, you know it's a big issue when legends like Tamika Catchings draw comparisons like that. And let's be honest, Stephanie White has witnessed a lot. This isn't a coach who merely offers praise to garner attention. She knows what greatness looks like since she's been around and has trained legends. So when she mentions Clark's work, it's time for everyone to start paying attention since her ethic reminds her of a Hall of Famer. What's even more absurd is that Clark is still learning, and we're not discussing an athlete who has already reached her prime, continuing to grow and push herself beyond what is expected of a rookie each time she takes the. Instead, she's getting better, honing her skills, and making changes that make her even more dangerous. The worst part is that Clark isn't only winning over the coaching staff. Her colleagues are also noticing. Additionally, when a novice enters the gym with the enthusiasm, self-assurance, and diligence of an experienced veteran, it makes everyone around her step up. That's how culture changes. That's how a franchise begins to change.
This is big in my opinion. It's big for Caitlin Clark, it's big for women's basketball.
What is it about Clark, then, that is having such a profound effect? Let's dissect it in detail. Having taught some of the top players in the game, Stephanie White is not the kind to give meaningless compliments. Therefore, her statement that Caitlin Clark's work ethic makes her think of Tamika Catchings is more than just hype, it's historic. For those who are unaware, Tamika Catchings is a Hall of Famer, a WNBA legend, and generally regarded as one of the most diligent athletes to have ever taken the court. The fact that Clark, a rookie, is already being compared to Catchings in terms of dedication and effort, that's crazy. White acknowledged that she's only collaborated with Clark on a few times thus far, but she's already witnessing something uncommon, the kind of motivation that sets exceptional players apart from legends. Clark's obsession with improving isn't limited to simply showing up to practice and going through the motions. She asks the proper questions and goes above and beyond what is asked of her. She studies the game like an expert. The odd aspect is that Clark is just getting started and already blowing people away. White hasn't even finished coaching her yet. Let's be clear, this isn't just about making spectacular passes and shooting threes. Clark is fixated on every facet of the game. She's working on defense, footwork, playmaking, you name it. That's why she's unique. She's training to dominate, not merely to keep up her talents. That's a whole other story. Mentality. She's continuously improving her shot mechanics, making sure she has a faster release, more accuracy under duress, having the capacity to make shots from any location on the floor. She is also concentrating on strengthening her defensive awareness, anticipating plays before they occur and ensuring that she is capable of successfully guarding several places. This all-encompassing strategy is elevating her to a new level. However, it doesn't end there. Clark has an incredible basketball IQ. She not only plays the game but also analyzes every move, every situation that takes place on the court. She devotes a lot of time to film analysis, dissecting opponents' habits, figuring out how to take advantage of flaws and making quick modifications. This degree of attention to detail is something that seasoned players, not beginners, typically exhibit. Let's also discuss her conditioning. In addition to honing her abilities, Clark is making sure her body can sustain the high demands of a WNBA season. She's honing her quickness, strength, and endurance.
Caitlin Clark is back in the lab, or should I say her natural habitat. The Fever shared footage of Clark getting a workout in with new head coach Stephanie White.
This type of preparation isn't just about becoming good, it's about remaining great for years to come. Beyond her personal development, because of Clark's contagious work ethic, her teammates are motivated to work as hard as she does. Energy. When a rookie outperforms seasoned players, it has a cascading effect. All of a sudden, the squad is working harder, raising their game and competing at a higher level. And maybe the most impressive part, Clark accepts the grind. She thrives on extra work, even though some players might view it as a burden. She understands that brilliance isn't. It's not just about skill, it's also about the many hours spent in the background.
She moves different. She sees the floor different. She shoots different. There's just a level of excitement.
What does all of this mean? She is demanding success from herself every day, not just chasing it. For the future of Clark. As a rookie, if she's already demonstrating this degree of discipline, dedication, and hunger, imagine where she will be in a few years. We're discussing a player who isn't merely trying to create an impact. She wants to push the boundaries of what's feasible in the WNBA. However, Clark's ambition goes beyond simply making her a fantastic player. She becomes the kind of leader that motivates everyone around her as a result. But wait, there's more. One of the most significant stories. Caitlin Clark may be too famous to be trained, according to some detractors. She may be reluctant to get lessons because she is already such a well-known figure in women's basketball, from coaches who haven't achieved as much as she has. However, that is just untrue. Stephanie White stated unequivocally that Clark wants coaching. She is not merely receptive to criticism. She wants to be challenged. She wants to be the best player in the history of the game. Consider how uncommon it is. A player who is already one of the greatest names and breaking records in basketball, but I'm still eager to get better.
You can see she worked up a sweat. Stephanie White looks focused. Some instructions. This is like tight handle work to keep her handle strong, keep the ball protected, be able to navigate in smaller spaces.
She could simply rely on her skill and innate shooting ability, but she's asking for more. She wants to be legendary, not just great. You know what that means. She will only get better. Imagine what she'll be in a few years if she's already outstanding. That's frightening for every other WNBA player. Team. Clark is actively looking for ways to get better rather than only taking her coach's recommendations. Whether she's practicing her footwork, studying hours of game footage, or putting in endless effort to improve her endurance, she's demonstrating an unmatched degree of dedication. She wants to dissect every facet of her game and rebuild it much more powerful. She is the kind of player who would take a minor weakness and work on it non-stop until it's no. It is no longer a weakness. She stands out from many young players because she can absorb criticism and put it into practice right away. While some athletes are resistant to coaching or find it difficult to modify their style, Clark is aware that even she is accepting every obstacle head-on and has opportunity to grow. Let's not overlook this mindset. Is infectious. The team as a whole is motivated to work more when their leader is always trying to do better. Indiana is experiencing precisely that. The Fever players are observing Clark's drive and know they must improve their own performance in order to be competitive. This is the kind of mindset that elevates a team from mediocrity, a championship level. The fact that Clark is adopting this mentality at such a young age demonstrates how unique she is. Speaking of leadership, let's discuss how Clark is already taking initiative in ways that even veterans find difficult. Whoa, you've come this far. I assume you're enjoying the video a lot, so why not pause for a moment to press the follow button. It's really easy, completely free, and enables us to continue providing you with amazing content. Particularly if you adore the WNBA. Whether it's player spotlights, game highlights, or behind-the-scenes moments, we've got you covered. In addition, if you follow your favorite teams, you won't miss a beat. And players, go ahead, press that follow now. Okay, let's get back into it. Now let's change topics and discuss leadership. Even though Caitlin Clark hasn't participated in a single WNBA game, she is already assuming leadership roles at Fever training camp. It's not just uncommon, but also unheard of for a rookie to earn this much respect from her colleagues and instructors prior to even participating in her first professional game. Most rookies enter the league with a focus of establishing themselves individually. They concentrate on adjusting to the physicality, the game's tempo, and establishing their position on the group leadership. That typically occurs years later, after a player has become well known. However, Clark, from the beginning, she has taken the lead. Stephanie White has worked with many young players in the past. However, she's observing a change in Clark. The manner in which she conducts herself, the manner in which she engages with teammates, the way she expects everyone in the gym to give it their all.
It also looks like Caitlin has bulked up a little bit, like she's put on a little muscle mass to be ready for next season, which is an MVP season loaded.
It's establishing the tone for the entire Fever roster. Even the team's veterans are acknowledging Clark's impact, and that speaks much about her mindset. Clark doesn't hesitate to speak up and doesn't wait for approval to take the lead. Instead of blending in with the backdrop in the hopes of gradually gaining respect, she is doing it now. Her teammates are already working harder because of her infectious energy and practice. Every exercise, establishing the benchmark for intensity and concentration. She is there to support a teammate who is having difficulty. It's this kind of mindset that transforms good teams into outstanding ones. Give words of support or a brief bit of advice. However, her actions speak louder than words. Clark is setting an example by demonstrating that hard work isn't. It's expected, regardless of whether she arrives at practice first or leaves last. Her commitment is evident. She's not merely following the rules, she's leading the way. What's even more remarkable is that, off the court, she's spending time building relationships with her colleagues, building rapport and trust that will result in victory in games. That degree of awareness and maturity, it's the difference between good and great players. What's even more amazing is that Clark's leadership isn't. She has an indisputable presence that demands respect and attention, whether she is assisting a teammate or not. Her influence is evident everywhere, whether it's during a drill or honoring a major achievement. As the Fever get ready for the impending season, it's evident that Clark wants to change the team's culture rather than merely be a star. Her talent, work ethic, and leadership are laying the groundwork for something truly remarkable.
When you think about the great point guards and post players that our game, not just our league, but our game has seen, they are going to go down in history as the greatest.
What does this signify for the WNBA as a whole? In training camp, Caitlin Clark is already surprising her coach. What does that signify for the league as a whole? It indicates that they are in serious difficulty. Clark is more than just a talented player. She will be unstoppable due to her level of leadership, preparedness, and intensity. Every time she sets foot on the floor, she makes a statement. Her style of play is more than just basketball, is unique and is establishing a new benchmark that the league as a whole needs to prepare for.
Caitlin Clark's going to be the MVP of the WNBA next year. I almost have no doubt. What we saw from her as a rookie, the fact that she's going to get better.
At a time when women's basketball is receiving more attention than ever before, she is joining the WNBA. More supporters, more media attention, and more pressure. However, if you believe that she will be shaken by the pressure, you should reconsider. Clark is created for the spotlight, so she doesn't just welcome the big moments, she craves them. She thrives under pressure. And it's clear from the way she's training that she's enjoying every moment of it. Every game she plays will be closely observed, every move examined, every shot examined, and guess what? She really enjoys it that way. She is working harder than ever because she is aware of the extremely high expectations, to ensure that she not only fulfills but surpasses those expectations. Her unwavering determination is already making an impression, and it won't take long for every WNBA club to see it. She's not just joining as another gifted rookie who has the potential to change the league's power dynamics.
I'm excited about the opportunity to work with them. I'm excited about the opportunity that we have to build from those starting points and build out, and for the longevity.
She is a full package because of her ability to control the game with her passing, shooting, and leadership. Caitlin Clark isn't here to fit in. She's here to take over, and the rest of the league needs to wake up. There is nothing that anyone can do to stop her. That's it, everyone. Caitlin Clark is making history, not just waves. Imagine what she will do once she truly takes the WNBA stage. If this is just the beginning, Stephanie White is already in. The league as a whole and her teammates are rising up. Yeah, they better be paying notice. If you liked this breakdown, WNBA, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons so you never miss anything if you want to keep up with everything. The best basketball stories, in-depth analyses, and the most recent updates are all on the way. And hey, what are your thoughts? Will Caitlin Clark live up to the expectations and dominate the WNBA? Please share your opinions in the comments section. Let's start the discussion. Alright, that's everything for now.